This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back, everybody. Since we've gotten together with him in the past couple of episodes, learned so much about dog training, realizations for my dog I didn't even have until I met him. He has such a practical approach and is compassionate, caring, and loving when it comes to dog training. But here's the mind blow. He can do this virtually. Doesn't matter where you are. He can help you with behavior and training challenges with your dog. He's the owner of Argos Dog Training. He is Martin Wright. He's back on the program. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well, Steve. Thank you for having me back.
Good to have you back here. And I know we just started talking about this concept of training your dog virtually. And I know we're virtual right now. Many things can be done that way. I wonder, virtual training work or in person, is there a big difference? Tell us the difference.
Yeah, so virtual training, when you have a good virtual training program, it is a little bit different than in-person training. And the biggest difference is that the trainer is not capable or not able to actually touch your dog. They're not able to actually be in the same room with you because, of course, it's virtual. But other than that, the major part of training is basically giving information to our clients, information on things that work and then helping them to practice those things. So a lot of that can be done virtually.
So how does that work? Can you take us through just what that looks like? So many questions. How you would do that? Is it in real time? Do we send you videos?
So first of all, I have Argos Online, which is a part of the argostraining.com website. Argos Online is a place where my clients can come, where they can post their own videos. They can ask questions. I do a weekly office hours where, you could get on a virtual call similar to this one with me, and we could talk about your dog in everyday life. I also post the dogs that I'm working with on Argos Online. So daily I post videos of the dogs I'm working with. So that way you can at home see a dog develop from just starting to where we get to at the end of a training program. And of course that helps people who have different temperament dogs, because I have hundreds of dogs posted there where no matter what your dog's temperament is, whatever your dog's habits are, I'm sure that there are dogs that are equal to that. But as far as virtual training programs go, I have developed a program called the Super Cycles Canine Communication Program. And this program, the idea of it is that it's supposed to replicate as closely as possible in-person training. When you meet with a trainer for in-person training, what generally happens is after you talk to the trainer a bit, the trainer learns about your dog and about what's going on. A trainer will show you an exercise, right? They'll explain an exercise for you and they'll tell you how it will apply to the problems or the goals that you have for your dog. And then they will demonstrate it generally with your dog, right? And then they give you the leash and then you practice that same exercise in front of them and they give you feedback on it. After you get done with that first exercise, they'll probably say something like, go home and practice this for a week. We'll see you next week. And let's work on our second exercise, right? So that's the way training generally goes. Now, my Super Cycles program is similar to that. Instead of us meeting in person and talking about your dog, what we do is I demonstrate exercises with a dog that I'm training. Right. I demonstrate an exercise. I explain it. I explain the uses of it, applications of the exercise. And then I do another short video. Both of these videos for each lesson is about 4 minutes. I do another short video where I demonstrate it with the dog. Then I ask the client to practice that a little bit and to record themselves, even with their phone. Just put the phone against the wall, and just record yourself doing a little 2-minute video. Send that back to me, and then I give feedback. The cool thing about my program is after you complete the program the first time, I have selected lessons that you could go through again. and continue to send um, videos back to me and get feedback on. As you progress through these lessons, you have the opportunity to earn collars. So
Oh,
you
wow.
start with you start with your regular dog collar, the regular buckle collar your dog has, and you go through the program, and then you do it again. And if everything looks good, I send you a white collar. And
Like a
then
literally, no, hold on. Literally a collar you sent.
yes, I send you a white collar,
Wow.
because your dog is now white collar level, right? You and your dog, the team.
Right.
And then from there, as you practice it, we go to blue collar, purple collar, brown collar, and black
Love it.
collar.
You know what it
The
reminds me
intention,
of? It reminds me of um, martial arts, where you
ex
get different belts.
exactly. As you go through martial arts, your skills develop as you practice, and the more that they develop, the better at it you are. I actually did one of my influences is actually Gracie Academy, which is a jujitsu academy.
Oh,
They
wow.
do have online courses, and the way that they run their business, the way that they run their online courses, that's a big influence to me, because I've learned a lot through there.
I want to go back to something you said a moment ago, and it sounded like you make available the videos of other dogs being trained by their human. Did I hear that right?
Yes, a person can on Argos Online upload their videos so everyone can see them. Even their super cycle videos, they can upload them so everyone can see them. Um, Generally, most of my super cycles clients send the videos to me personally. But either way, yeah, so you can watch other people training their dogs as you go through, and that does build a sense of community. We tend to have the same problems. A 7-month-old dog is a 7-month-old juvenile dog. They do the things that 7-month-old dogs do. So we kind of have similar problems, and you can see how somebody resolves a problem or meets a goal with their dog, and that can not only motivate us to want to do the same, but it also could give ideas, you
That's
know.
just it. Everybody, everybody has a story. Every moment of every day. You go to buy a cup of coffee at a convenience store. You could come up with a story. Seriously, it might not
Yeah.
be earth shattering, but there's a story there. So watching others training, you could pick up a little thing. Maybe you'll see the certain treat they use. Maybe, I don't know if I'd like to get into treats with you at some point, but if there are different levels of treats, depending on what you're trying to achieve, maybe a, mid-level premium treat, they may say, hey, I buy this at insert name of store and I break it up in little pieces. I might not even know about that, but I would find out from that video. Martin, do you recommend virtual training to clients who can attend in-person training?
Yes, I do. There's a lot of reasons why virtual training is so practical and powerful. So a client who might be able to be here for in-person training, they also might have a really busy schedule
Sure.
where it's hard for them to get in, drive a half an hour to me, do our lessons. The thing about virtual is that you can do it anytime. You can watch those videos anytime in a 24-hour day. You could practice with your dog
Mm.
anytime. You could put the video, your homework video together at any time, and you could send it to me at any time, and we're able to go from there. So a lot of clients who are really busy, I recommend it to them. Also, clients who might not have the resources, to be able to afford in-person training, virtual training tends to be less expensive. My program is more expensive than most virtual trainers, but that's because I do a lot of watching videos. I do
Mm.
a lot of response and reply. I also have my office hours, so I'm able to talk to people and we're able to grow our relationship as well. So mine is a little bit more expensive, but even so, it's still less expensive than meeting in person,
Well,
you
I
know.
just want the distinction here when we say online training. I'm going to be honest. I'm taking a course for something and I've been putting it off. I started, I didn't continue the module, and it's well laid out and it's not boring. It's very clear to the point, which is important to me. like you said, we don't have time. But I find myself putting it off because you're isolated. You're doing it by yourself. Your training is completely different, where you are accountable. You are available. Somebody has a question. Hey, you know what? My dog is doing this. I never expected it. They can reach out to you, whether it's a call, whatever it might be. You're there. So it's not like you're off on an island, thumbing through videos. It's very interactive with you, even when it's virtual.
Yeah, I get to know my virtual clients,
Yeah.
and if they don't show their home, like, yes, I have clients who purchase, of course. We all have programs that we've purchased and we haven't looked at, right? Of course, I have those too. But once we start to work together, we develop that relationship. So if I don't hear from you for in a week or 2 weeks, where are you? What's going on? Are you practicing we have that relationship developed so
Yeah.
that way it's easy, for us to contact each other. We're used to doing it. The beginning of things is always hard. We got to get that momentum going. An object at rest tends to stay at
Oh,
rest.
yeah.
So once we start the program and start to get into it, especially with this program and with all of the accountability and all the resources I have to be able to contact my clients, it's easy to keep it going.
That's it. It just hit me. This is that phrase that goes around. Hey, you need something? I got a guy. I got a guy for that. I got a guy for that. You're that guy where you're not just a dog trainer. You become a friend, an ally. You're connected. You're invested with that person. You form that relationship. So that said, is there a consultation before starting a virtual dog training program?
I love to do consultations before starting any of my training programs. And it's really easy to get a consultation scheduled. But yes, it is important because the more information that I learn about the dog and the everyday life of the dog, about the problems, a lot of the times what happens is that our problem is when the dog is out in public and they're reacting to another dog. That's why we call the trainer. But we don't call the trainer when we tell the dog it's time to go for a walk and they're jumping all over us and they're scratching the door and they're pulling us outside. All those things we tend to not worry about as much. As a dog trainer, all of those things are directly connected. So the more I learn about that, if your dog is barking at dogs when they're on leash outside, okay. But is your dog also barking at dogs when they see them through the window? And if they are, can I use that? If I teach you how to stop your dog from barking at dogs when they see him through the window, doesn't that help us when we're on the sidewalk and our dog is barking?
Sure.
It helps us to build our experience. We know what we're in for. All those kind of things help us out. So the consultation, and not only that, just the talking to people, talking about the dogs and giving quick tips that really can change lives quickly. Consultations are very useful for that. It helps us to target our training. It helps me to get a better idea. So all my clients, I recommend a consultation.
Getting a different view of this right now with our conversation, Martin, I got to tell you, because if you have a weekly in-person session schedule, let's say every Thursday at 4 p.m., whatever it might be, all good, but you're probably going to forget those moments along the way where your dog was looking out the window, barking at someone, and you thought, well, I thought we took care of that a couple of weeks ago in terms of barking at other dogs, and now this just presented. It's in real time. So somebody could just grab a phone and text you or send a message. Hey, you know what? That's kind of
Or
weird.
better yet, send a video.
Send a video.
Stand back, watch the dog barking,
Right.
send a video, because a video picture tells a thousand,
Yeah.
tells us a thousand
What's he
things.
doing? Is his tail wagging? What's his stance? What's his posture? How long is he doing it? Is he like really invested in this whole situation? There's the value. And again, in person is totally fine, but it seems like it's an ongoing thing when it's virtual, but the perception is a disconnect. There is none.
Yeah, especially with a lot of programs where they're just you buy the video program. You buy the video, you do this, and you're going to be fine. That gets tricky, especially with dogs,
Totally.
because all dogs behave so differently.
So do adults and their dogs. So,
Right.
I might be doing something wrong. I don't even know it, but you see it in the video.
Right. That's the whole point is that as I'm able to watch the videos, I see little things and I'm like, you know what? It could be a little bit easier for you if you hold your leash this way. And just a little tip like that can go a long way in making it so that way you complete your task, but also making it so that the task is enjoyable for you, you know?
Yeah. How do you break this down into sections, modules when it's virtual?
I break them down. Yeah. I start at the beginning. I start at the very beginning and I start with very simple things. I make it really easy in the beginning and then everything builds on everything else. Right? So I might start with a simple game like the yes game. That's a game that I teach all my clients. Basically what it does, it creates a link between your word yes and you delivering a treat to the dog and the dog eating and enjoying that treat. Right? So that way I could just say yes and the dog can expect me to give them a treat. And they could start to notice the things that get me to say yes. That's the game, right? So we go from there. We have the yes game. And then a little while later, we're like, what happens if we walk? Holding the dog on leash, and just walk and start saying yes at the same time as we're walking. What starts to happen to the dog? And then from there, we go into a one-step game where I stop suddenly and the dog can earn a yes
Ooh.
by being in the right position when I stop suddenly. So all these things start to build on each other so that way it's never overwhelming. And we also get to see small improvements as we go
Mm.
so that helps at least for me, that helps to motivate. Going to the gym is hard for me because you pump all this iron and you don't see anything right away,
Yeah,
right?
oh, yeah.
You have to
Yep.
wait weeks and then you see it. But with these exercises, you see them pretty quickly. You see the result pretty quickly as you do them, and that helps to, build that motivation, get that stone rolling, and getting things to be better and better.
Plus, you get a collar or two.
And yeah, you might get, and by the time you get to the black collar, your communication skills are great. See, the purpose of this is to learn how to read and anticipate dogs as much as it is to learn how to efficiently ask them to do things, to efficiently make requests in a way that they can understand.
Sure.
So as you get through the program, you start to realize that around distractions, you could get your dog's attention. Your dog can be off leash in distracting areas and still pay attention to you. But not only that, when you go to your friend's house and you see their dogs, you have earned these skills.
Mm.
So you're able to communicate with their dog at a level that they might not even be able to communicate.
I never thought of that. Wow, that's
Right.
that's actually a bonus there, especially let's say you have a relative and you go to their house, or maybe you go with your dog to their house. They have a dog, and there's challenges, and you can actually understand what's going on. Um, Real quick, treats. I've heard here and there that not all treats are created equally. You need
No.
to decide which ones you give for whatever task it is. What can you tell us?
Um, yeah, so there's a lot of different treats out there on the market. The biggest thing for me is the quality of ingredients in the treat. That's where it starts. The second thing is do the dogs love the treats? That's the second thing. And then from there, it comes down to size. How many of these treats can I palm? A lot of the times I hold multiple treats in my hand when I'm doing luring exercises and things like that. As far as what I use generally, I actually use a kibble as my everyday standard dog treat. I use a kibble called Ziwi Peak. It
Hmm.
comes all the way from New Zealand, and basically it is mainly air-dried beef. All of the top 20 ingredients in this are easily pronounced. They're foods that we recognize. There's not a lot of chemical names or preservatives and things like that in this food. And I also notice even the pickiest dogs eat them. They're the perfect size. They're expensive in America because they come all the way from New Zealand, but they're quality and I don't feel guilty giving my dog junk food
Mm.
when I'm giving treats.
Yeah, and I recently heard that New Zealand beef is phenomenal. It's a thing.
Yep.
Literally just heard that. So that's in line with that. If if you are trying to teach your dog something major, let's say your dog has a habit of running out, or it's always on a leash, and let's say you open your front door, boo, dog bolts, could be traffic, dangerous situation, and you want to train your dog to come back in that situation. I've heard you need to go for the premium treat, the one that they rarely ever get because they know the difference. Do you believe that? What do you think?
Um, if a dog bolts out the door, at that point, yes, you do. Probably if they haven't had training, you need to give the best things that you have. But if we went through and we've trained correctly, um, if we've trained the dog correctly, then we should be able to recall them verbally. As a matter of fact, if we've trained correctly, the dog shouldn't run out of the door. Right? Because they kind
Totally.
of know their boundaries. But more than the treat, more than the actual treat is the repetitions. There is no treat that is the equal level to a squirrel, right? You can't, no matter how tasty your treat is, if the dog sees a squirrel and they want to chase the squirrel, no treat is going to make that dog come back to you immediately, especially since they know that they'll have other opportunities to get that treat. The reason the dog comes back is because of your relationship with the dog. Treats are an excellent way to build a good relationship. They can help us in that aspect, but how we use them is more important, you
So
know.
what I'm getting here is it starts at the beginning, and it's the foundation you lay with your dog and that relationship. The beginning is just as important as the end in terms of your training. That's what I'm seeing here, because the beginning stages here are all the setup for the future. But the setup means your relationship with your dog, them listening to you, understanding that you have cues, more maybe signals, hand signals, whatever it might be. Wow, see this in a whole
The
different light.
beginnings are huge. I've been training dogs now for 16 years, and I tell you, with my personal dogs, I practice the basics more than I practice advanced training. As a matter of fact, advanced training is just basic training done at an advanced level. That's all it is.
Mm.
So I practice the simple things, the yes games, the simple things way more than I practice, hey, jump through my arms. Hey, do a handstand. Hey, I practice that stuff a little bit, but I practice the basics all the time.
Wow, what an education today, Martin, and a totally different view on virtual dog training. It's exciting because it's on your time, your schedule, and your dog's, and there's still total connection as if you're there. It's like phoning a friend. You got a
Yeah, and
question,
then,
need some
and then
help.
when you send me your video,
Yeah.
within 24 hours, I send you either a video or a voice message back with responses to it. You know, and that is because you can listen to that whenever you want to,
Sure,
right?
sure.
So it gives the owner a lot of freedom. And as you send these videos in, I see things. I see things that can be able, and we have that open opportunity to talk about more problems than even what you discussed in your consultation, and even what we're addressing there with the dog in that particular video series or that module. I'm seeing more things, and because we have that relationship, it's easy for us to get into that.
I got a guy for dog training, and he's right here. How do we connect with you, Martin?
argostraining.com. If you go to argostraining.com, I have a big red contact us button. You click that. If you're interested in the virtual program, there will be a little section that says message. Just put I'm interested in virtual. That will help us out in the beginning. But just click that, and then from there I have so many ways to contact, but that's the best way. argostraining.com.
Beautiful. Thank
Contact
you.
us.
for all the insight today. I'm gonna earn me and my dog a black belt soon.
Black collar.
Black collar.
Collar. It's important. It's important.
You see your dog walking around with a belt.
I could send you a black belt, but it probably wouldn't be
right.
It wouldn't be much.
Or I'd have to wrap it around my dog's neck to make a collar like 10 times. Martin, thank you so much for today. Really, really appreciate it. And looking forward next time we get together.
Looking forward to it. Thank you so much, Steve.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.